What's going on, Bulls fans? We're going to be breaking down the NBA releasing the Bulls season schedule, plus much more, straight after this.
Blows without borders, coming at you live from across 3 continents. Philly to Fort, Haize, Troy, and Neil. Let's do this.
What's going on, Bulls Nation? I'm Troy. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Troy. You can follow my show at Whole Lotta Bull. Joining me down below is one of our regular hosts. That is Haize from Chicago Bulls Central. How you doing, Haize?
I'm doing good, bro. I haven't been here in a month since I've done an episode of Bulls Without Borders. I'm glad to be back, man.
You lazy bastard. No, I'm just playing. That motherfucker is the hardest working man in the business. So now glad to have you back on the show again, mate. And joining us again this week is hopefully a reoccurring guest is Bobby from the Kognac Boyz and the Shy Bulls podcast. Bobby, how you doing, mate?
Doing well. And like I told y'all last week, if you need me, if time permits, I'll be here.
And here he is, man of his word. Before we get started today, I just want to do a quick shout out to our brother Phil. For those who don't know, you guys had that storm up in the Illinois, Indiana area. A few days ago now, and his mother's place got hit pretty badly. I think there's a couple of tornadoes that actually went through the area as well. So shout out to Phil. He's going to be out of the game for a little bit while he helps his mother out, get things cleaned up and get her back on track with everything. So Phil, take all the time you need, brother. We'll hold it down for you. Just make sure everything is all good with your mum. And we look forward to you being back with us soon. But again, take all the time you need because that family comes first, man. So
absolutely.
Thoughts out to you. All right, so the Bulls have released their season schedule for the upcoming season, and actually the day before released their NBA Cup schedule. So I'll quickly bring up the NBA Cup schedule for the 26-27 season first. So we're going to be playing against the Boston Celtics, the Atlanta Hawks, the Washington Wizards, and the Charlotte Hornets. Fellas, how you guys seeing the NBA Cup? Start with you, Haize.
I feel like it's a really good test. Like, those are all teams that are going to be tough in their own ways. You got Boston, who, while I know they traded Jaylen Brown, they're still a deep team, still a very well-coached team. The Atlanta Hawks are a team that's probably at that next level that we are trying to get to as far as being a young team built around a young, promising player that are trying to still evaluate but have added a lot. Bryson Graham's former team. The Hornets, I know people are thinking they're going to take a step back because they traded LaMelo Ball. I think the opposite. I think they're going to do like what the Phoenix Suns did. They became a better team after trading away Kevin Durant because they were a more complete team in the sense of balance. I think that Hornets team is going to be really tough. They're going to be one of the most elite perimeter teams, and we get to see Brandon Miller grow as a point forward, I think, this season. So they're going to be tough too. The one on it that I don't believe in is the Washington Wizards, but watch them be tougher than I expect too. But I think it's a really good group to be in. Some really good litmus tests for the Bulls over the course of that cup play, and I like it.
For sure. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you did mention in one of your recent shows, Haize, that you said this was going to be a really good test for where the Bulls are at in their development going forward. But yeah, man, we'll definitely wait and see. Bobby, how are you feeling about the NBA Cup schedule?
I feel pretty good. It's going to be, like Haize said, it's going to be one of those litmus tests to where you're going to see how you match up versus these teams. You're going to get a couple of these games not too far after the season starts. We definitely going to be watching the Boston Celtics to see how Jason Tatum is now going to lead that team. I still think that they're going to be solid enough. We'll just see by the end of the season where they line up. One of the interested teams that I think is on to come up and they're going to do a little bit more than last year is the Atlanta Hawks. Definitely going out there and trading for Lou Dort was a huge addition for them. And I think that's something that we're going to have to keep eyes on because now he's going to add some championship pedigree to that team. I'm on the side with Haize when it comes to the Washington Wizards, to where on paper, they look like they could be good, but there's still going to be some questions on how Trae Young is going to operate and to see his cohesion with AJ to see if, you know what I'm saying, he's going to ice him out or, you know what I'm saying, have him more involved in that. And then obviously the big question mark is Anthony Davis. And then on the last team with the Charlotte Hornets is going to be an interesting thing simply because I do think the loss of LaMelo was something that I didn't anticipate. And I think it can potentially hold them back. However, they just traded for Dennis Schroeder probably like an hour or two ago. And I think that's a good addition for a team like that. And I'm interested to see them because I think they are a young up-and-coming team.
I didn't even know that move happened a little while ago. So there you go.
Yeah, for Trey Mann.
Yep.
It's a nice move for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, I don't know if you guys know, and Bobby, I think Haize knows this, but Bobby, I don't know if sure you know, but when it comes to the NBA Cup in itself, I'm not a fan of it. Like, to me, it's just some Mickey Mouse competition. But in saying that, it is here. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So, hey, I guess I should try and embrace it.
I mean, it's regular season games. Like, that's the thing. It's just regular season games. So even if you don't like the NBA Cup part of it, I mean, it's just part of the normal 82 schedule.
That's kind of how I look at it too. Just other games that are going to be coming on with a changing of the look on the court. I'd be like, all right, cool, whatever. I mean, if the Bulls end up being a surprise team in that cup, you know, I'll be like, okay, cool. But ultimately, I think that I have bigger things that I'm focusing on for the entire season than just NBA Cup play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like you guys said, it is part of the regular season. It's not like these are extra games outside of the regular season. So, but at the end of the day, that even if it was extra games outside of the regular season, it's still the Chicago Bulls playing. I'm still going to support my team no matter what, even if it is some stupid ass Mickey Mouse Cup that Adam Silver's brought in for some soccer like crap. But with that being said, I'm with you guys. Like, it is a really good test to see where our Bulls are in their development path as well. Like, you know, like you guys, I have no faith in the Washington Wizards. Like, just because you got Trae Young and you've brought in Anthony Davis, so friggin' what? Like, Trae Young is one of the most overrated players in this league as far as I'm concerned. Anthony Davis is always injured. There's a reason why his nickname is Glass or Mr. Glass or whatever the hell it is. And then, like, if fine, you got the number one pick in the draft, AJ DeBanter. Well, guess what? We got Caleb Wilson, so stick that up your clackers.
This man cooking. He's cooking.
But and essentially, yeah, Charlotte Hornets, like you guys, they're going to be a really good test as well because I think they're closer to where we are in our development path, even though they've got a couple of years ahead of us in that development scheme. I think, like you guys, them trading LaMelo Ball for Naz Reid, I think that was actually a really great move for the Charlotte Hornets because I don't believe in LaMelo Ball whatsoever. I think he's absolute show pony. He's far overrated just because he makes all these fancy dribble moves and fancy passes and he's covered in head to toes and tattoos and I don't see him
grew up watching and one mixtapes. That's what you can tell that he grew up watching.
Yeah,
glory days.
Absolutely. So I don't have any. I think that's a great move for the Charlotte Hornets, and I think the Minnesota Timberwolves got worse in that deal because Naz Reid is a hell of a basketball player. He's not flashy. He gets the job done, and that's what you want. And I think that's what the Charlotte Hornets wanted out of that deal as well. And now they can hand the keys to Kognac and Brandon Miller as well. I think that was a really great move for the Hornets. And who else we got? The Boston Celtics, and who was the other team in that one? I got rid of the graphics. The Atlanta Hawks. Man, the Hawks are going to be tough. I mean, adding Lou Dort, man. That's like, again, getting rid of Trae Young was a great move for the Charlotte Hornets at the deadline, and now you bring in Lou Dort. I mean, how much of a all right? Because the Bulls have a connection there with the Atlanta Hawks with Bryson Graham, how much of an input on what the moves that the Atlanta Hawks made up to the deadline last season was impacted by Bryson Graham? Like, how much of an impact do you think he had on that? I know he wasn't the main guy, but I'm sure he had a pretty big say in it.
I mean, from what I read when doing my research when we hired Bryson Graham, I think he ran that trade deadline last season. I think that was him. He ran that trade deadline as the GM last season. So most of those moves were him. Now I don't know how much in the offseason, like I think they credited him for the Nickeil Alexander-Walker trade too. I think Bryson came in and hit that ground running for the almost all the moves last year were Bryson Graham moves.
Yeah, that's what I seen too. It was just him pretty much, and I credit him too for going in and giving it some time, giving it an evaluation period, which I believe is going to happen with our Chicago Bulls. And then, hey, we're receiving some calls. Let's make some moves that make sense for us for now and the future.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Shout out to Howard joining us in the comments once again. LaMelo is massive turners, but he had just his first kid and perhaps is maturing. Plus Ant-Man equals surprise all-star. I mean, you know, I think that is definitely a possibility that LaMelo Ball is maturing. Like, hey, he's what, 24, 25 now. I hope he is maturing. Not just as an adult, but as a basketball player, especially if you want to be part of a championship contending team.
For sure.
And then he goes on to say, Atlanta Hawks equals the deepest team in the East.
I don't know how I feel about that. No. They did add Aaron Wiggins. They added Lou Dort. They still got you. You may be cooking on that one.
Maybe
you may be cooking on that one.
All right, so let's revert back to the Bulls and with the NBA Cup. With those 4 games, what kind of record do you see the Bulls getting in this? Like, do we get a win, 2 wins?
I don't mean to give a boring answer. I can't predict anything win-loss with this team until I see him for a few games, honestly, because like the starting 5 looks like it has more balance than what we've seen for Chicago Bulls starting 5 in a while. But I've been fooled before, so you know I'm not going to give a record prediction, but I do think they'll be competitive in those games.
Yeah, I agree with Haize. I think it's tough to gauge right now, but I'm gonna just go out there and just say 2-2 just to be safe. I guess it's the safe pick at 2-2. I think one of them teams potentially may be getting upset, but we'll see what happens because these guys do amp it up for those cup games because it comes down to point differential and all these other different factors for guys to compete for an extra check. So they definitely gonna put more effort into it, but 2-2 is what I say.
Yeah, I think maybe like a win or 2. I definitely don't see us beating Boston or Atlanta, but you know, hey, crazier things have happened. Anything can happen on any given game, so you never know. Atlanta has to trim their roster of 2 players. Do y'all have any strong opinion on Moge that the age 23 kid is 6'11" with 3s and blocks, not the other dude with the same? So not the same guy that we traded.
Okay. Yeah, because I was definitely like, did we trade him?
Yeah, no, there's
How,
2.
you know, I hate it when people copy him. He was leaving that same comment in my live stream earlier, but I'll let y'all answer. I hate it when people copy and paste the same comment on different channels.
I don't know much about him, man. I'll just be honest.
Yeah, I haven't watched enough of Atlanta basketball other than when they play the Bulls. I do know he's better than the Moge that we had in Chicago. I know that much. But
that don't take much.
That is true. That is true. All right, and so the NBA released all this season schedules, and so the Bulls obviously have released theirs for the upcoming season. I'm going to pull the schedule up on the screen. We're probably not going to be able to see it the best. I'll pull it up on my screen. So with the Bulls open up their regular season on the 21st against the Toronto Raptors, and then the home opener is on the Saturday on the second night of a back-to-back against the Washington Wizards. Guys, when you look at the season schedule, especially that first 10 games, that looks really rough for the opening of the Bulls. But hey, we all said this last year, and they started 5-0. So who knows? But how do you guys make the schedule out to be? Bob, you start with you, brother.
Good, Bob.
All right, I think, man, I look at it as it is what it is. It's definitely a tough start off to your season, especially when you're going against the Knicks twice, you're going against the Sixers twice, you're going against Boston twice. I think that's a tough road to start off the season, but I think that's why I'm going to bring Norman Powell's comments into this, to where people, they did go out there and, you know, dissect we could be really, really good. Well, we could be really, really bad. But I want to bring in the other stuff that he said and talking about the mentality that's going to be required for the Chicago Bulls to have a successful season. And I think that while we're going to look at those matchups as being tough, you're absolutely going to be looking at how does this team adjust, and going against the defending champions, going against a contender in the 76ers is definitely going to be something that's very, very intriguing. And I think that's going to help them, for lack of a better word, callous up, you know what I'm saying, to where they become a tougher team. Because I think if we would have started off with a light schedule, maybe guys would have been feeling themselves a little bit, and then you get smacked, and then we end up with the 7-game losing streak that we had last season. So I'm going to invite this tough challenge in, and I know they're going to invite the challenge in as well, and we'll see what happens with it. But I think it's definitely a good challenge ahead for this young Chicago Bulls team.
Yeah, it's a very difficult schedule. I mean, when you look, me and Pat talked about on Locked On Bulls today. You look at those first 20 games, it's like two bad teams that we're facing off against in the first 20 games. The Bulls are going through it to start off the season in a major, major way. And so, and you want that. And the East is going to be tougher anyway. Like there are legit 10 teams that can make a conversation, make it to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. So the East is already going to be a gauntlet, but that's what you want. Every day is a different measuring stick. And so as the season gets easier on us in a way, we have open in March with like a 6-game homestand, but they're going to go through their trials and tribulations early. We got road trips early. We got back-to-backs. Like, to me, all this says is that I'm looking at Tiago Splitter. I'm looking at these young guys. I'm looking at the resolve. I'm looking at the bench. It gives you an opportunity to really bind together as a team. And like Bobby said, build up that resilience and see what we do going forward.
Yeah, like I said, looking at this first 20 games of the season, obviously, damn.
Right.
The only bad teams you can really say in there are like the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets. That's about it. Like everyone else is been like, I know we don't exactly rate the Washington Wizards yet. They've got a lot to prove, but you can't exactly write them off as an easy beat at this stage as well. Like look, we got the Toronto Raptors, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, San Antonio, the Hawks, Minnesota, Cleveland, Denver.
It's a gauntlet, man.
Charlotte, Indiana is going to be coming back, like with Tyrese Halliburton's back on the floor as well. Like this is a tough start for the Chicago Bulls.
I agree with that 100%. It's definitely going to be tough, but I honestly like it. I honestly like it.
But so the Bulls only got 3 nationally televised games for the season now. On the consideration that we got the number 4 pick in the draft, Caleb Wilson, is only getting 3 games a surprise at this point for the Bulls. Haize?
No, it's not a surprise. And then I don't know if you looked or not. So all the top 4 picks, when you combine all the nationally televised games, all the teams have, it's 16. That's it. So you talk about the top 4 picks in the 2026 draft. If you're talking about the casual viewers, you're going to only have 16 times to watch those guys combined this season. That's it. That's all they got. So, when I saw that, it lessened it even more. But when you win 31 games the season before, and you've gotten worse as far as wins each of the last few years, you got a new front office, a new head coach. I can't blame the NBA for not putting us on national TV a lot. But one thing I will say is that they did it last season with the Bulls too. If we do start looking better, they'll flex us on some NBA TV games. It won't be like ABC or anything like that, or Amazon, but they'll flex us on some NBA TV games. So we'll see what happens.
I agree with that, bro. It is what it is. We got to prove ourselves. We pretty much starting off at that ground level. I think that the Chicago Bulls will start to grab some attention because of the athleticism of Caleb Wilson along with Montes Buzelis. And I would imagine that early on, we're going to see some posters throughout the season. Obviously, you're going to hope that some wins come with that. And that's just what it is. Nobody's really looking at the Chicago Bulls as being a team that many people outside of the fan base wants to see, at least right now. But it can change, and I believe it will.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I give my opinion, I've got to give a shout out to Hobo Raider. Our first ever super chat on Balls Without Borders, a $2 super chat saying, hey, he's a bit optimistic, but hey, 82-0 this season, baby.
A bit optimistic.
just a little bit.
Get hype. That's all I'll say. Get hype, man. I ain't gonna blame nobody for being hype about their team, man.
Yeah, like when it comes to the season schedule, like at the end of the day, it's 82 games. You're playing 41 at home, 41 away. You're playing all your central division opponents 4 times, the other Eastern Conference opponents 3 times, and your Western Conference opponents twice each, one home, one away. It's, obviously things can be made tough through back-to-backs and all that sort of stuff. I think the Bulls have 10 back-to-backs, which I think is that a reduction on last year? Or is it around the same mark with the back-to-backs?
We had a lot of back-to-backs last year too. I don't remember we were second in the league in back-to-back something. I know we were top 5. So
we were definitely up there.
Yeah, I mean, it just happens with the Chicago Bulls at this point.
But hey, at the end of the day, this is NBA basketball. These are grown, adult, professional athletes. Back-to-backs. I mean, the part I find funny is that, over here in the AFL, so I don't quite remember exactly the difference in distance between Perth and Brisbane. So we got Perth on the west coast of Australia. Brisbane is like the furthest major city away from Perth on the east coast. So the AFL here, like, we get a lot of these guys play one game a week, like the NFL. And some of these guys will complain, we had to play in Perth, or it was tough for the Brisbane Lions because they played at home this week. Now they've got to go all the way across the country to Perth to play this week, and then we're back home. It's this, the guys are tired. I'll say this to AFL fans: shut the fuck up, because when you see the NBA guys, one night they can be in New York City, the next night they could be in Los Angeles, the next night playing another game. Come talk to me about tough when you're doing that sort of shit, because like I got to give it to the NBA guys, like that shit can be tough. And when you're playing 4 games in 5 nights, which the Bulls did 2 or 3 times last season, that shit is tough.
Yeah, it definitely is tough. Try 5 days of flying missions. Oh my God. For 8 hours. It was brutal.
I don't know how you do that shit, Bobby. I'm not even gonna hold you, bro.
It was crazy. It was the parties afterwards that kept me live, bro. In Puerto Rico. Come on now. If you know, you know.
Unfortunately, I don't, so maybe you can fill me in a little bit later.
For sure.
Howie, I guess start 12 and 30, then finish 2020 equals 32 wins. All right, so the question I'll ask you guys now that the schedule's out, the betting companies are coming with their over-unders. I think for here in Australia, I think we have on PointsBet, the Bulls over-under is 26.5 wins. Now, Haize, I know you're not a betting guy. Bobby, I don't know about you.
I am.
But if you had to put money on the Bulls over or under, which way are you going? Bobby?
I'm definitely going over the 26 games. Earlier today on my show, Shabu's podcast, I said the Bulls would get 35 wins, and that's just why I have them at least right now. But obviously, I got to see some games being played before I adjust accordingly. But at least early on, I think the Chicago Bulls are going to have the potential to surprise a couple teams, maybe be able to take advantage of, maybe some slower teams, there's maybe want to play a more methodical style of basketball. And we're going to have to gauge them and see how they match up versus the teams that's going to play at a pace, maybe above or at where they at. Obviously, pace isn't everything in basketball, but I think that's going to be a determining factor, especially considering that the back end of that front court with Montes, Caleb, and Nick Claxton, I think that's going to be huge in some games, when it comes down to stops defensively and second chance points, because that was one of the reasons I like Thiago Splitter with the second chance points in Portland that the team did, and I think that's going to translate for Chicago.
It's always easy to take the over because the Bulls are always on the over. So I'd say bet on that. Now, could it get ugly for the Bulls? Yeah, there's a potential of it getting ugly. New head coach, a lot of new pieces and all that. Like, it could get very ugly. But 26.5, like, man, it's you got to be pretty damn bad to get only 26.5. Right. I think it's pretty safe to bet the over.
Yeah, I'm definitely not that I would bet on the Bulls season schedule wins, but hey, if I did, I'm definitely taking the over on that. I think that could be in the mid 30s. Shout against a Hobo Raider. He's predicting 33 wins. Derek, I think it's Derek. Nothing but Bull. Shout out Derek. He's taking the over. He believes it's 25 and a half year, but I see him getting at least 30. So yeah, I think there's definite optimism that the Bulls are definitely going to be on the overside of whatever betting company you use or you choose, whatever betting odds you see. I think it's pretty safe to say that we're all probably going to be taking the over. Quick question from Howie. Am I the one who introduced you to Trevon Brazil? I believe you were. And hey, he was one of the guys that, because you introduced me to him, I wanted him at pick 35, I believe the Bulls had. And unfortunately, he went a few picks earlier to the Denver Nuggets, so I was spewing about that one. Hobo Raider, being a Raiders fan is what converted me to being a Bulls fan. The two fan bases are very similar in mentality, us or nothing type stuff. I don't know much about the NFL supporter base. Would you guys say that's accurate? Us against them?
Good. Why you give up on the? Oh no, he with the Raiders. Y'all about to have a decent little team. Mm-hmm. Hey, go to NFL Central. Me and Steve-O talked about the Raiders today. Free plug.
The Raiders fan base. Football fan bases are so different than NBA fan bases. Like,
I agree with that.
Even the most rabid. Like, when you talk about people who are out there legitimately in single-digit weather, naked with a face painted. Nobody's doing that at a basketball game, bro. Like, nobody's doing that shit at a basketball game. So, like, it's different. I know, of course, Raider fans, it's always warm there, but, like, people do that shit in Green Bay. People do that shit in Chicago. Like, football fandom is just different, bro. It's a totally different thing.
It is, man.
Yeah. I mean, the only person I've only ever seen one fan, and I could be completely wrong, so forgive me if I am, but I've only ever seen one fan at a basketball game in the NBA who would take off their top and they got their body painted. And that was that guy in Minnesota who was a massive Kevin Garnett fan. And he did it when KG came back. I think because he was always up and dancing. And I don't know if he actually had his body painted, now that I think about it, but I do know he had something painted on him when KG returned to the Minnesota Timberwolves and he got up and did the whole dancing thing. But hey, it is what it is there. AFL fans here in Australia, it's a different beast down here as well. I mean, like, what? Just a side note question for you guys, because like, also you guys being in Chicago, you got the two baseball teams, the White Sox and the Cubs. What is the mentality like between Cubs versus White Sox, between the fan bases?
They don't like each other.
We don't like each other at all. Like, literally, Mike, who's on my network, every time he says something about the Cubs, I'm like, hey, fuck you and them Cubs. And I love Mike. Mike is one of my favorite. Like, bro, like, it's so, like, for my family's from the south side of Chicago. So, like, if you don't even wear a Cub shade of blue and red walking in the house, you may get beamed with something, bro. Like, my grandfather, I remember one time, like, there was a Cubs game on. There was no other baseball game on. I'm watching the Cubs in the basement. I'm like 8 years old. My grandfather came downstairs. How dare you watch that shit in my house?
Yeah, no,
like, that's literally what he did. I'm like, damn, like, you thought I was watching porn or some shit. Like, they don't play about it, bro.
Yeah, Troy, same city, two different sides though. Is one of those beefs that start off from the jump. Yeah,
like now we've got the same thing here in South Australia with the AFL. We've only how the AFL works, like, so there's 18 teams in the competition. 10 of them are in their pissant state of Victoria, because their little Victoria Football League was about to go broke, so they had to expand it to survive. So it became a national competition. So there's 10 teams based in Victoria. There's 2 in New South Wales, 2 in Queensland, 2 here in South Australia, and 2 in WA. And we have a team coming out of Tasmania soon, in a couple of years as well. But there's the 2 here in South Australia, my team, Port Adelaide, and then we have the Adelaide Crows. And very much like Cubs and White Sox fans, we don't like each other. Primarily because, and the history behind that is, Port Adelaide started off as a state league competition, a state league side within South Australia, and Port Adelaide dominated from basically since our inception in 1870. And, we haven't won a flag since 1999. But, 36 flags, championships in 150-something years, and basically making a grand final every other year. We're just dominating all that shit. So basically, because we're so damn good, everyone hated us. And so now we in the national competition, but the Adelaide Crows came in first because the national competition wanted wanted to side out of South Australia, and the SANFL, which is the state league here in SA, had a cry and said, "No, let's make a composite side," and created the Adelaide Crows, and away we go. And then Port Adelaide came into the AFL a few years later, and it's rivalry ever since. And like literally, there'll be fights between fans in the stand sometimes. That's how much the rivalry is.
I'm not surprised. It'd be like that sometimes.
But yeah, no. So it's good to get an insight on what like crosstown rivalries are like in the States as well, because I see some of the shit here and I'm like, I wonder what it's like in Chicago with the Cubs and White Sox. I've always been curious about that and got an opportunity to ask the question. So thank you for answering that one. All right, so probably the last bit of news to break for the Bulls today. We have a new assistant coach, Jordan Brink. We got from the New York Knicks. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent. I don't follow other teams' assistant coaches and all that sort of stuff. So I know nothing about Jordan Brink. Guys, Haize, I'll start with you. Tell me about Jordan Brink and why is this good for the Chicago Bulls?
He's a really good development coach. Like, he's not just a shooting specialist like Peter Patton was. He's a guy that worked himself
up. Shooting
up
coach as well.
No, he's not a shooting coach. So like, this is a legit, like he's a video. He started off with a video guy, much like Eric Spoelstra and like Matt Lloyd, who both started off in the video room. He worked himself up. He's an all-around player developer. Like, he's worked with guys like Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, to just name a few. He's kind of helped refine Jalen Brunson a little bit, OG Anunoby, those type of guys. Like, he's a guy that's worked with a lot of really good players. And the thing that he does, that his philosophy of it is, I'm gonna whatever you do best, whatever coming in from college, whatever you do best, we're gonna make that an NBA skill. Then we're gonna add on top of that. So we're gonna get you in your comfort zone. Then we're gonna add on things that you didn't do in college, things you didn't do there, and turn those into skills for you. So he's a good guy, like how Pop talked about it. Legos, right? You build your foundation, then you build on top of that. And I think for where this Bulls team is, he's good. He's gonna be really good for players like Noah Essengay, of course, Caleb Wilson, Modest Buzelis. And I'll even say this: when you look at some of the guards he worked with, if Rob Dillingham can't turn into an NBA player under Jordan Brink, he ain't gonna be an NBA player. That's just it.
Hey, but I agree with you though. I was really fascinated by looking up his story, bro. At one point, he actually was about to quit, like because of some off the court stuff. But Dwayne Casey sat him down and they had a conversation, and he stayed on with the Detroit Pistons. And he worked under Tom Thibodeau. He worked for Mike Brown, just got him a championship. So congratulations to him. And I think that's very, very important. And I think that what the Chicago Bulls are doing right now, it's important. And I think it's impressive up until this point, man. It's not going to be perfect in year one. We still have many, many ways to go before we're a finished product or even considered in contention. But I also want to bring in Austin Dufault in this too as well. This is a guy that, when you listen to Tiago Splitter, he said, yes, we want to keep some guys that are familiar with the players now, but we also want to bring in some new faces. And I think that the familiarity with the players on Austin Dufault's side and now bringing in Jordan Brink, I think it's a good thing to see. Now you're going to be able to communicate with somebody that's familiar with the players and then be able to bounce ideas back from one another and help the Chicago Bulls hopefully get back into contention sooner than later, man. I really like this signing, and you get to take them from the defending champs. Come on now. I think that's a really good steal. Bryson Graham, you've been cooking this offseason, brother. Shout out to you.
Man, it's good. It's good. They're good to know, like, the Bulls are bringing in someone good at their jobs and has obviously, helped the development of the likes of a Jalen Brunson and like OG Anunoby, Jalen Duren. Be interesting to see what he can do, is especially more specifically with the likes of Modest Buzelis, Caleb Wilson. And yes, I will throw Josh Giddey into that because I think he's a long-term part of this Bulls future, despite what some people, the minority in Bulls fans, want to think. Yeah, and I would actually like to see what he can do with Josh Giddey as well. And I think I saw again, shout out Derek from Nothing But Bull. I think it was either him or John mentioned about, it's just a shame that we still couldn't have kept Peter Patton and stop him going to the New York Knicks, because like if you still had Peter Patton here and now you add in Jordan Brink, it sounds like we would have had maybe one of the best development coaching systems in the league.
And we may still have that. Like, Tiago's really good at developing. We still got Austin Dufault here, who was Peter Patton's understudy. We got Jordan Brink here. And while I know a lot of people were down on him becoming the head coach, because I agree with that, but as a development guy, Wes Unseld you go and look at the names Wes Unseld has developed, we got a lot of really good development eyes here in Chicago. So let's hope we start seeing it, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I think it's the developmental side is what we're all anticipating. And I just want to throw this out there. If you were an idiot that's trying to discredit Josh Giddey by bringing up Nikola Vucevic stats, you lost me.
Bro,
you lost me.
That episode, Troy, tell you, I think I texted him. It was like 4 a.m. my time. I'm like, I'm about to cook. Like that's it. I'm about to cook. This dude wrote a whole article trying to talk crap about Josh Giddey and use the 2-man game between Josh Giddey and Nikola Vucevic in the year of our Lord 2026. Come on, man.
Bro, we just box score watch. Like, we don't watch the games to where Nikola Vucevic couldn't back down guys that were smaller than him. I don't even think if I defend Vuce in the poach and I'm short as hell, he can back me down the way that I seen him. It's crazy work, bro. It's crazy work.
I hadn't been that irritated in the offseason in a very long time, bro. They pissed me off, man.
I had to stop myself. I was ranting for like 9 minutes. I said, all right, y'all. I'm
gonna calm down there. Like, Bobby, that was a great episode, man. Like, I know,
thank you, bro. Because
but
that's ridiculous.
Like, reading that article and when he goes on to say like Josh Giddey's not a really good playmaker, it's like, motherfucker, like, he's in the
Josh Giddey was second in the league in possible assists and played with homeless people for a large chunk of the season. Like, when you go and look at how many players that Josh Giddey spent significant minutes with last season that don't have an NBA job right now, it'll tell you Nick Richards, not on any NBA roster. Gershon Yabusele, not on any NBA roster. He went back overseas. He's gone. He's done. Like, so when you look at that, like, yeah, don't get me wrong. He played with the Anthony Simons and guys like that who are still, wasn't all bad, but like Nick Richards was averaging a double-double. Why do you think that happened?
No, bro.
Josh Giddey.
So, like, yeah, man.
Like to use your phrase there, like, he was playing with homeless people and made them look like competent NBA players. Like, that's a sign of a damn good playmaker. The man was the stat you brought up a few times, Haize, and I've used it a bunch of times, is that he was in the 98th percentile of creating wide open shots for his teammates.
But get this, Troy, that was a stat from 2 years ago. Last year, the 99.4 percentile, meaning that it was only him and Jokic. That's it, bro. That is it.
Crazy work, right?
But apparently he's not a good playmaker. Like, what the oh, man. Seriously, like, where people, this proves nothing but people just don't like Josh Giddey because they just don't want to like him. They can't get over their fucking dumbass, stupid narratives that they wanted to create out of nothing. Like, I know there's definitely people out there who wanted to hate on the guy just because of the alleged thing that happened with that girl when he was at Oklahoma City, and you just base your hate purely off of that.
We just need to move on. If y'all really worried about Josh Giddey and that, go watch the EDP 445 documentary.
I heard that's crazy.
Be really mad about, bro.
I heard that's crazy.
Bro, I'm gonna tell y'all a direct quote. I'm not gonna say it on this program. I'm gonna tell y'all a direct quote from that documentary. Go watch it afterwards. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Bro, I heard it's crazy.
It's what they got this man admitting on air. I'm just like, when I tell y'all the line I'm talking about, bro, when I saw that on the trailer, I'm like, what? Oh, this man is evil.
I don't know. I heard, bro. I definitely got plans to check it out this weekend because I'm like, hold on, you did what,
bro?
Yeah.
But to wind it back to the Bulls, because that sounds just wild. I have to check that out at some point.
Yeah,
like, leave me a link or something. Give me a link on where I can find that shit or where the fuck to find it.
It's on YouTube. I'll send it to you.
Really?
Man. But yeah, like, people go on about, we can't have Josh. Well, you don't want Josh Giddey averaging, 20 points a game. Well, no, like Haize, like you said on Chicago Central, no fucking shit. He doesn't want to average 20 points a game.
Like, you don't want to build around Josh Giddey. Duh. We trying to have him as
People
a
need
piece,
to understand the
not
difference
the
between
piece.
being the engine of an offense and that meaning that the whole entire team's built around you. Like, this isn't the 90. Like, there's so many different ways you can go on and play. Like, you got to stop. Like, you saw what the Houston Rockets did, how bad they look without Fred VanVleet. You think that he's what their team's completely built around? No, but guess what? He's absolutely the engine of that offense.
Facts. Keep telling people.
And
So
it's,
come
and
on,
it's like, I can't remember, and I think I do remember who it was, but he's completely irrelevant to me anyway. So, but there was the whole thing, like, again, you don't want to build around Josh Giddey. Well, no shit, you want to build around Miles Brazales and Caleb Wilson. But what you do want to do is build with Josh Giddey. He is part of this franchise going forward. He's part of what this Bryson Graham has basically told you. He ain't going nowhere. He's a part of what we want to do going forward over the few years. Now, is he going to be like, is there a possibility he could still be traded in a year or two? Yeah, absolutely. No one's saying that. Like, no one's going to say he's not untouchable. But as it stands right now, he's part of this roster going forward. And some of y'all just need to get the fuck over it, frankly.
Troy, he gonna shed a sugar.
And as Neil created when he was with Steelers with Seaweed UK, he is the barista. He's going to serve it up just the way you like it.
Let's go.
That's it.
Question for you, Bobby, from Howie. Who do you like better, Peyton Watson or Dyson Daniels?
I think I'm a little bit more on the side of Dyson Daniels personally.
Haize,
I
how
like
about
Peyton
you?
Watson offensive game though, but I like Dyson Daniels a little bit more just because of the different things that he could provide for this team. So I'm gonna go with Dyson Daniels on this one, at least for right now.
That's fair.
And that makes
I say
my
Peyton
Aussie heart.
Watson. Personally, I think, like, not to say that I don't like. I love Dyson Daniels. One of my biggest knocks on Dyson was that I needed to see him go from being a guy that just got steals to being a better on-ball defender. He did that last year. Hands down, he did that last year. But I just think the upside was a little bit higher with Peyton Watson as a two-way player and as a shooter. So I bet on Peyton for that reason.
For sure.
Yeah. Peyton's definitely got the better offensive side of the game. But, I mean, hey, let me just throw in my Aussie bias, Dyson Daniels. But that's just me, the Australian bias there. I would love to have him in Chicago. Derek saying that was John. So, yeah, thank you for that. And Howie, FYI, Giddey plus Dyson Daniels is an all-Australian backcourt. Dyson's nickname is the Great Barrier Thief. For those who don't know, it is a reference to the Great Barrier Reef here in Australia. So there you go on that one. Guys, I don't think there's really anything else to discuss unless, do you guys have anything you want to talk about before we head on out of here?
I'm all good, man.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's Red Summit. I think it's number 36. Again, shout out to Phil. Hope everything goes well. Getting your mum all sorted out. Shout out to Neil, who's getting that pasty white Irish skin a tan while he's on vacation. And I can say that because I am white.
Shout out to Phil, man. You and your family be safe, brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all be safe out there, man.
All right, guys. So before we wrap it up, everyone should know where they can find you. But just for some reason, in case they're living under a rock, Bobby, tell them where they can find you, man.
Hey, man, I'm on Twitter at Cognac Boys, Shy Bulls Podcast, Chicago Bears Central, and NFL Central. If y'all football fans, American football fans, me and my man Steve-O, we've been killing it. We just 20 subscribers away from our first 1,000 subscribers. Make sure y'all tune in if you are in tune with the American football, man. Hit that like button and subscribe all social media platforms. Troy, thanks for having me. Hey, shout out to you, brother.
No, pleasure, brother. Thank you for joining us once again.
Haize.
You guys can follow me at CEO Haize. You can check out any Chicago's team. Put Central after it if you want to watch the channel. That's where we are. Chicago Bears Central, which I actually do with Bobby. Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Sky Central, Chicago White Sox Central, Chicago Cubs Central. We got everything covered except the Blackhawks. If you guys know somebody who wants to cover the Blackhawks, send them my way because we're trying to find a new host for the Blackhawks channel.
Yeah, so you guys are Blackhawks fans, and you want to host a podcast, get in touch with Haize. You can probably even hit him up at ballcentralpod@gmail.com. Is that the right?
That's it.
And if you guys can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Troy. You guys can follow my show at Whole Lotta Bull, same name on YouTube, Whole Lotta Bull. I'm only 7 subs away from getting to 500 there myself. So hit that subscribe button and help me get to 500. And you guys can follow us collectively on Twitter at Borderless Bulls. Unfortunately, Bulls Without Borders was too long. We couldn't use that as a Twitter handle. So at Borderless Bulls. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. We'll be back next week. Hope if you guys are available next week, and also depending on Neil's availability, you guys please jump back on if you are available. So appreciate you guys jumping on with me today. So until next time, Bulls fans, see red, be good. Let's go Bulls.